specifically in our Edmonton studio, it's everyone I talk to is always really happy. I have absolutely no problem waking up at 6:30 in the morning to get ready for work because I know once I get to work, it's just so fun. It's enjoyable. I enjoy working with everyone there. It can get stressful at times, but as Josh mentioned, you take a 15-minute break, you go play some pool with the guys, and you're fine.
So, what systems did you specifically test on? And which one of those, in the end, did you end up preferring testing on?
I played on both Xbox and PS3. That being said, and PC. That being said, most of my experience was on Xbox, and I am just kind of a fan of the controller. I did play a lot of Call of Duty back the last couple of years, so having that, being familiar with the controller is huge. And I've never been a big fan of the PS3 controller. Sorry.
Understandable. So, essentially what you're saying is if there are any bugs in the Xbox 360 version, we should just kind of all call you and say that you didn't quite do your job right.
That's fine with me. The one thing about the game to know for sure, though, is our builds. So 99% of the bugs we would find are valid both on Xbox, PS3, and PC. The only things that you wouldn't find across all three are going to be things mostly to do with programming, just in regards to like save games and imports and things like that. A lot of that is pretty console specific, but 99% of what people see as bugs, so things in are going to be across all consoles.
Now, did you ever have to have the misfortune of playing a game in a language you didn't know?
Pardon?
Did you ever have to test the game in a different language? Because I've
heard
some stories of people doing that.
See, I actually got lucky. The playthrough guys, we were headed by Bro Preet, Lalinav Preet at EAC, so he's in the EA Burnaby studio. And pretty much what he did was ask us if anyone can speak, additional languages. And luckily for us, everybody could speak a certain language so that we had all SKUs covered. So that was good.
Okay, what languages did you end up testing in?
I played in Polish and English. I did have to play through Italian once, which was interesting, to say the least, because I know zero Italian.
So what's it like playing through a game that you don't quite understand? And like, were you able to kind of guess what things meant just from memory from the other languages, or?
Yeah, definitely. To kind of put it in perspective, I've probably played through Mass Effect 3, I would say, close to 100 times.
Wow. So, out of those 100 times, were there any characters in Mass Effect 3 that you kind of really connected to more than others?
Can't say.
No?
Can't say.
Okay, now... Man, does anyone else have any questions? I am just...
I got a question.
That's Izzy in the background.
Hi. Is there any particular QA tester who gets to test the love sequences?
Actually, that was one thing that we had to do as on the playthrough team, was the love sequences and the romances.
So that was that at all awkward to sit there and constantly being like, make love, damn it. Shepard, now with this person.
It was never awkward. Sometimes it was weird because some of the bugs you would see would just make it, totally odd. And totally, you would never think that would happen. So some of the bugs kind of did make it awkward, I guess, but a lot of the times it was quite amusing. And because the romances are a pretty big thing that our fans look for, we would usually have, I know in my room specifically in Bioware Edmonton, I would, some of the guys would look over and watch the screen, and we would kind of depict the romance sequence and make sure that I'm not missing any bugs. So I would always have a couple guys looking over my shoulders, making sure that, hey, this big part of the game is 100%.
Okay, nice. Now, a little bit off topic from Mass Effect 3. What is your favorite system of all time? Like, were you kind of raised on video games, or one of the newer generation kind of guys?
I'm a big fan of Super Nintendo. I was that was my first real system.
So you just gained at least one fan here. What NES game what was your favorite SNES game?
Honestly, I was young. It was more mash the buttons and see what happens.
Okay, so
I,
pretty
I,
much me at any modern fighting game then. I said pretty much me at any modern fighting game.
yeah,
That's my Marvel vs. Capcom strategy.
that's actually that's a big sport at BioWare Edmonton. We have a bunch of guys that are constantly playing that, and they're amazing. You know, I can't even believe it sometimes.
Nice. So, anyone else have anything to ask?
Oh, Goof
What do you
Troop,
think about
Goof Troop.
BioWare's decision to release downloadable content at the same time when they release the game instead of like including it with the game itself?
Pardon?
Like they're charging extra. So
He's asking about Day 1 DLC and what you feel about that.
Well, with Day One DLC, the game in itself is already so big and so vast that it really isn't a requirement for a lot of people. What we wanted to do was give those people that wanted that extra little bit, give them that option to purchase that Day One DLC. A lot of mixed feelings about Day One DLC, but I feel it all comes back to the scope of the game is so large in itself. There is a business side to it, and there also is, you know, we want to give that option for content. You know, we couldn't fit it in, unfortunately, to the main game, so that was the next best option for us to give the fans the content they wanted as soon as possible.
how much is like the DLC going to add onto like the game itself? Like is it just going to be like something simple or?
It's actually the DLC itself is pretty big. We will definitely be supporting Mass Effect 3 through DLC for a long time to come. So there will be more and more DLC, I'm sure, pop up over the next while. But the DLC, the Day One DLC, buy it. You'll like it. Trust me. You don't like it, let me know. I'll give you your money back. I'll PayPal you.
I'm sure the sales team is over there giving you the thumbs up. Like, yeah, more. All the custom skins. So, yeah, kind of tagging onto that, like, you know, about how much time is spent on, like, general, the new campaign DLC. Because, you know, I know that the game itself takes a very long time to design, but, like, about how long do they spend working on the missions, you know, per package?
Can't give you an actual number, but I can kind of I can sum it up in saying that a lot of our DLC, because the main game is done, a lot more we'll have, you know, a couple developers on that level, or we'll have developers assisting other developers on that level. So the levels themselves usually are actually a bit of an, you know, I hate saying improvement because it sounds like there's something wrong with our current levels, but the levels are great. I really like them. It's a different style of play, and it's a different level entirely than what you'll see throughout any level in Mass Effect. Just in regards to the environment, the skins, the colors, the art, everything.
Okay, now, is there anything you wanted to ask us about what's going on over here? Because
How are you holding up? I checked the stream when I got home at like 4 a.m. and you were still trucking.
dude, I had half hours sleep. Fortunately, I have tons of people over here helping me out, so I can kind of get a little bit of downtime over here. But dude, last night when everyone was gone, that was rough. Man, and yeah, so yeah, definitely, this has definitely been a learning experience for me about how to make a successful stream. I think there are a lot of things that I won't repeat next time. Namely, test everything a week or two before.
Yeah. I was definitely one of the first guys watching the stream with all the echoes and all the feedback. That was fun. It was good.
So, anyone in the stream or in the chat have any questions for him? I have my computer in front of me, so.
It doesn't look like there's a question.
Okay.
Oh, wait. We got one. Sorry. James 176 asked, how long would the campaign be if you just went head on?
Um, if you just wanted to blitz through the campaign, technically you could do it in. I don't know how long it would take you. Playing the game over and over and over the last better part of 7 months, I can get through the campaign in 4 hours, just because I know all the tricks here, there, and everywhere, and exactly where to go, exactly what to do, and the best way to do it, and the little exploits that weren't quite 100% patched up by the time we have the main game done. That being said, you're looking at about, for the first playthrough, it took me, I would say, about 60 hours of just playing through the game and not worrying about any side missions or side quests or anything to finish it. 60 hours.
Now, out of curiosity, I know that there's an Edmonton office and a Montreal office. Have you guys ever had like just competitive tournaments against each other in the games? You know, like, you just send each other like, I challenge you to, Mass Effect multiplayer or something, or StarCraft.
Not necessarily Mass Effect. I know we had a bit of a League of Legends tournament throughout most of EA. I don't play League of Legends, so I can't tell you the specifics, but I know it was pretty big, pretty large.
Nice. Any other questions anyone has? I'm way too tired to think of
We
anything
also
there.
had someone ask, what is your favorite race?
That's not the thing we're talking about. Let's clarify that.
They come off the Germans!
Just because Solarians, definitely Solarians.
Okay. Now, are there any Easter eggs that we should be looking out for in Mass Effect 3 that you kind of want to share?
There are quite a few, but no, I'm not going to share them.
You ruin everything.
Yes, I ruined everything. Let me just, you know what? I'll tell you all the endings right now. You don't even need to buy the game. I'll just tell you what happens.
Works to me, seems to be like $60. So, yeah, alright. I have nothing.
We have another question.
Another question.
from one of the viewers. We have James asking, were you involved with the playtesting for the multiplayer or just the single player?
One thing that we had, yes, flat answer, yes. Our Montreal studio was in charge of a lot of the multiplayer, and actually that's where all of our multiplayer developers were. And Edmonton was part of the single player side. That being said, as Josh mentioned yesterday, we would have test cases to overload servers, and even if you had some free time, there's always a need for fresh eyes to look at something. If you haven't played a section of the game for a month, if looking at it now, it's going to be totally different. The art's going to be totally different. Some of the functionality is going to be totally different. There might be new geometry. So there's always some good stuff to test and to kind of say, hey, this looks out of place or that looks out of place.
When you were playtesting, did you see any really cool features that the designers wanted to add but just couldn't quite make the cut before final build had to be pushed out?
No. The way our development process works, I feel that everything we wanted to get in regards to large systems and things that users and fans will definitely pick up on, got into the game. There are some minor bugs and some minor things that we just didn't have time to fix, and a couple of those snuck through, but nothing that's game breaking, nothing that a normal person will see without specifically looking for an issue. It's the guys that go out there and want to find a bug just to post it on our forums or to yell at us over some sub-forum. They'll see a couple little things, but for the most part, the game is very, very polished. The game looks exceptional, and I know you guys will love it.
Okay, awesome. Anything else in the...
We look like we have another question